Hello all, I decided to do this problem one more time on the video, so that if there's anyone who didn't understand when I was doing it in the class, you can understand it now. So in the class I took this mass of the father as 2m, and here I am going to take it as m, and the son's mass is half of the mass of the father, therefore it is m over 2. And you will see, regardless of what I do here for the mass, you will end up with the same results, because some of the students in the class did it this way. Now the question says, a father raising his son has half the kinetic energy. Now who has half the kinetic energy? Father has. So the father has half the kinetic energy of the son. So that is one thing that we can write. So you have kinetic energy of the father equals 1/2 the kinetic energy of the son. Now the kinetic energy equation is given to you as 1/2 mv square. Now when you look at the kinetic energy of the father, you can write down 1/2 mass of the father is m, and the speed of the father is vf. So there you have half m vf square. And then you are substituting. Now don't forget that this half is outside the kinetic energy of the sun, right? So leave this 1/2 alone and then substitute for kinetic energy of the sun. So the kinetic energy equation is 1/2, and mass of the sun is m over 2, and then vs square. Now you can cancel out the terms that appear in both sides. M appears in both sides, and this 1/2 term appears in both sides, so you cancel them out, and there you have vf square equals to 1/4 vs square. So the students who wrote down what I did in the class, you can compare. This is our first equation, vf square equals to 1/4 vs square. This is our first equation. If you want to take vs square to one side, you can do that, and there you have 4 times vf square, and you can call this also as the first equation because nothing was changed. Now you can read the second part of the question, and the second part of the question says, the father speeds up by 1 meter per second and then has the same kinetic energy as the son. Now what does it say? Now the father's speed, we said the father's speed is vf. Now it is increased by 1 meter per second. So the new speed of the father, equals to vf plus 1. So it is basically like you are driving at 40 miles per hour, and then you are increasing your velocity by 1 mile per hour. So the total is going to be 41 miles per hour. So the same thing here. The speed is increased by 1. Now let's write down the equations again. When the speed is increased, the new kinetic energy of the father, you can call it kinetic energy of the father new, and that is equal to the kinetic energy of the son. Now the sun did not change his speed. So here we go again. 1/2 mass of the father is m, and the speed of the father, new speed is that, and raised to the power 2. And the other side you have 1/2, and mass of the sun is m divided by 2, and the speed of the sun is vs square. Once again you can cancel out the terms that are common in both sides, half and half. And there you don't have an additional half because the two kinetic energies are equal here. Now you get vf plus 1 square equals to 1/4. And then you have 1/2 vs square. Because the only half remaining here is this. I'm going to erase this and rewrite it better so you can see it well. Yeah. There you have that m divided by 2, and that 2 stays. So half vs square. Now when you take the square root of this, you will get vf plus 1 on this side, and there you will have 1 over square root 2, and vs remains as vs square becomes vs. Now this is taking the square root. Take the square root of this, then you end up with this. Now this is the second equation. This is our second equation. Now the first equation that we have over here, it has vs square equals to 4 times vf square. This is our equation number 1. So if you take the square root on both sides, you will get vs equals to 2 times vf. Now I am going to substitute for this vs, and that will give you the following: vf plus 1, that equals to 1 over square root 2, and vs is 2 times vf. So that will end up with the following: vf plus 1, and 2 divided by square root 2 gives you square root 2, and vf. Now take vf to one side. I mean, you can do however you want this part. I mean, it is not actually, you can use your calculator if you want. Let me leave 1 here and take the vf to the other side. So you have 2vf minus vf. And there you have vf factoring out, and then square root 2 minus 1. So you divide both sides by square root 2 minus 1. That gives us vf, and vf equals to 2.4 meter per second. And if vf equals to 2 meter per second, the vs from this equation, vs becomes 2 times 2.4, and that gives us 4.8 meter per second. So it's very straightforward if you know your algebra and if you are able to understand this word problem. And the work that I did here, if it is confusing, please use your calculator, meaning 2 divided by square root 2. If you don't agree with me that it gives you square root 2, why don't you use the calculator and divide 2 by square root 2, and then get whatever you get, and then follow the algebra from here. And that's it. So I hope this helps. If you still have issues, please talk to me. And being able to understand a word problem at this stage is critical, because the problems that we are looking at in the future is going to be little bit more challenging and have more words. Okay, I'll see you next class.